Hi, my name is Stephanie Torres from Rutgers University, and I will be reading The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. At 4 o'clock, when it was fairly dark and Mrs. Hall was screwing up her courage to go in and ask her visitor if he would take some tea, Teddy Humphrey, the clock jobber, came into the bar. "My sakes, Mrs. Hall," said he, "but this is terrible weather for thin boots." The snow outside was falling faster. Mrs. Hall agreed with him and then noticed he had his bag, and hit upon a brilliant idea. "Now you're here, Mr. Teddy," said she. "I'd be glad if you'd give the clock in the parlor a bit of a look. 'Tis going, and it strikes well and hearty, but the hour hand won't do nothing but point at 6. And leading the way, she went across to the parlor door and rapped and entered. Her visitor, she saw as she opened the door, was seated in the armchair before the fire, dozing it would seem, with his bandaged head drooping on one side. The only light in the room was the red glow from the fire, which lit his eyes like adverse railway signals, but left his downcast face in the darkness, and the scanty vestiges of the day had come in through the open door. Everything was ruddy, shadowy, and indistinct to her, the more so she had just been lighting the bar lamp, and her eyes were dazzled. But for a second it seemed to her that the man she looked at the enormous mouth wide open, a vast and incredible mouth that swallowed the whole of the lower portion of his face. It was the sensation of that moment, the white-bound head, the monstrous boogle eyes, and this huge yawn below it. Then he started up in his chair, put up his hand. She opened the door wide so that the room was lighter, and saw more clearly with the muffler held to his face, just as she'd seen him hold the serviette before.